You are on this.
Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Nectar of Devotion. We are on chapter 2. This regulative principle is applicable to all varnas and ashramas, the castes and occupations of life. So what is the regulative principle? That always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. This is the regulative principle. And it is applicable not only to, say, the Brahmanas or the Kshatriyas, no, to everyone, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or Brahmachari, Grihast, Vanapras, Sannyasi, everyone. It's applicable to everyone. There are four varnas, namely the Brahmanas, priests and intellectuals, the Kshatriyas, warriors and statesmen, the Vaishyas, businessmen and farmers, and the Shudras, laborers and servants. There are also four standard ashramas, namely Brahmacharya, student life, Grihast, householder, Vanaprast, retired, and Sannyas, renounce. The regulative principles are not only for the Brahmachari, celibate students to follow, but are applicable for all. It doesn't matter whether one is a beginner, a brahmachari, or is very advanced, a sannyasi. The principle of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly and not forgetting Him at any moment is to be followed by everyone without fail. So here is the instruction. This is the instruction, and this is the main instruction. And no matter where we are in society, doesn't matter which community we belong to, which caste, which country, which nationality, which gender, what's our social standing. Each and every one of us is, the principle is we have to remember the Supreme Lord constantly and not forget Him at any moment. Now, to support this, then other regulative principles are made to help us to be able to do this. Because what our consciousness is material. So for us, we are always thinking of matter and we're always forgetting God. Now we have to bring that, or make it opposite, that we have to always remember God and never forget Him. If this injunction is followed, then all other rules and regulations will automatically fall into line. All other rules and regulations should be treated as assistants or servants to this one basic principle. So this is the principle. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Everything else is subservient. All other rules and regulations are subservient to this principle. The injunctions or rules and regulations and the resultant reactions are mentioned in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th chapter, verses 2 and 3. Chamsa Muni, one of the 9 sages who came to instruct King Nimi, addressed the king and said, the 4 social orders, namely the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras, have come out of the different parts of the universal form of the Supreme Lord as follows. So this is in reference to Srimad Bhagavatam. In the fifth chapter, Maharaj Nimi is being instructed by Chamasa Muni. And he's telling him that, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, where are they coming from? They're coming from the universal form of the Lord. The universal form, the Lord has a universal form. So the Brahmanas have come out from the head. The Kshatriyas have come out from the arms. The Vaishyas have come out from the waist. And the Shudras have come out from the legs. Similarly, the Sannyasis have come out from the head, the Vanaprasthas from the arms, the Grihasthas from the waist, and the Brahmacharis from the legs. So the Brahmanas from the head of the Lord, the Kshatriyas from the arms of the Lord, the Vaishyas the waist of the Lord, and the Shudras from the feet of the Lord, the legs of the Lord. Same way, the sannyasis are from the head, vanapras from the arms, the vaishyas from the waist, and the brahmachari from the legs. These different orders of society and grades of spiritual advancement are conceived in terms of qualification. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that the four social orders and the four spiritual orders are created by the Lord Himself in terms of different individual qualities. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, Guna Karma Vibhaga Saha. He says that He has made this Varna Sharma society based on gunas and karmas, based on each individual's nature. Based on that, Krishna has made this society. The Vedic society is specifically designed by Krishna. Varna Sharma system, Dharma, was the Vedic society. As the different parts of the body have different types of activities, so the social orders and spiritual orders also have different type of activities in terms of qualification and position. So head, hands, legs, waist, they have different functions. Legs don't do the work of the arms. Arms don't do the work of the legs. We walk with our legs, and with our arms, we pick up things, we eat food, we do this. The head, we are thinking. So similarly, the different ashram and the different varnas, they have different activities. They also, and based on what? Based on, okay, what is the position and qualification. The target of these activities, however, is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna created this Varna Sharma society so that people could be peaceful in this life. They could be engaged according to their own guna, own nature. Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that right now you are saying you will become a beggar, you will give up your kingdom and you'll go and beg. But out of your nature, you will act. So Krishna has divided the society according to the nature of a person. So each person can act according to the nature, be happy, be peaceful, and at the same time cultivate spiritual knowledge. Cultivate spiritual knowledge, and then at the time of giving up the body, go back home, back to Godhead. The target of these activities, however, is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whatever position we are in society, whatever work we do, it has to be done for the pleasure of Krishna. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, he is the supreme enjoyer. So whether one is a Brahmana or a Shudra, one has to satisfy the Supreme Lord by one's activities. It doesn't matter. We may say, oh, Brahmana is higher and a Shudra is lower. But what is the goal to be? But each is doing their own part. Each is playing their own part. Each is important. The legs are important and the head is important too. It's just a different function. Each is belonging to the Supreme Lord. So there is no difference as such then. It's just everyone is engaged according to their own nature. So then there is no difference. And what is the aim of all this? To satisfy the Lord by one's activities, whatever position we are in. We do not need to imitate another. Brahmana does not need to imitate the activities of Shudra. Shudra does not need to imitate the activities of Brahmana. Based on our own inclination, we act. And the aim is to satisfy Krishna by our activities. This is also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by a verse that reads, everyone must be engaged in his particular duty, but the perfection of such work should be tested by how far the Lord is satisfied with such activities. No, so it's not that everyone has to go leave home, go live in the forest. No, no. Krishna says, do your duty. Lord Chaitanya told us that. Practically, he showed us that there was a Brahmana. When Lord Chaitanya was touring South India, there was a Brahmana. The Brahmana told Lord Chaitanya, I want to give up my family. I want to travel with you. And in this way, I want to please you. I want to serve you. Lord Chaitanya told him, you will serve me and please me by just staying where you are. You do not give up your family. Be where you are. But wherever you go, whoever you meet, you speak to them about Krishna. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. So this is how Bhagavatam is saying the same thing. You engage in your particular duty, but that's not the goal. That yes, we engage in our particular duty, and the desire is to please Krishna by such work. Because each of us is going to work according to our nature. The modes are very strong. Krishna himself is saying to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, the modes are strong. You're going to work according to the modes. So you work for satisfaction. You work for my satisfaction. The injunction herein is that one has to act according to his position. And by such activities, one must either satisfy the Supreme Personality or else fall down from one's position. So we may be Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, doesn't matter wherever we are. The idea is by our work, we satisfy Krishna, we please Krishna. We do our work as a duty for the pleasure of Krishna. Because Krishna has made this system. And then right now we may say, but there is there's the Vedic system does not exist. There is no real Brahmanas, there's no real Kshatriya, there's no real Vaishya. All of us are Shudra in Kali Yuga. But yes, but still, each of us has a particular nature. That never goes, the guna. That never goes. Although the Vedic society right now is not very organized, divided as before, we don't have the Vedic society anymore. But yet, each of us will be certainly inclined. Some would be inclined to Brahmanical work, reading scriptures, teaching scriptures. Some will be or inclined to leadership. They'll have leadership qualities, administrative qualities. Those are that's the Kshatriya qualities. Some will be inclined to trade. Then that is the Vaishya quality. Some will be inclined to give general service to all others. Then those are Shudra qualities. So even though there is no like specific categories now, still each of us has a nature, and we work according to that. For example, a Brahmana who's born out of the head of the Lord has as his business to preach the transcendental Vedic sounds or Shabda Brahma. Because the Brahmana is the head, he has to preach the transcendental sound, and he also has to eat on behalf of the Supreme Lord. So Brahmana, the function of the Brahmana is what? He's born out of the head of the Lord. So he teaches the Vedas. He preaches, he studies, and he teaches. That is the Brahmana's duty. And also he eats on behalf of the Supreme Lord. According to Vedic injunctions, when a Brahmana eats, it is to be understood that the personality of Godhead is eating through him. It is not, however, that the Brahmana should simply eat on behalf of the Lord and not preach the message of Bhagavad Gita to the world. So a Brahmana is one who has understood the Brahman, who's preaching Bhagavad Gita. Not that he's only saying, oh, I'm a Brahmana, so you feed me, give me charity. No, but he should be charitable himself. He should give this transcendental knowledge to others. Actually, one who preaches the message of the Gita is very dear to Krishna, as is confirmed in the Gita itself. Krishna says that one who gives this knowledge to others, preaches this knowledge to others, is very dear to me. Why is he saying that? Because Krishna wants everyone to understand this message of Bhagavad Gita so that we can be happy and peaceful in this life. And at the end of this life, we can go back home, back to Godhead. So Krishna wants us to preach this message of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Chaitanya, that's why he came. And he says, Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. Anywhere you go, whoever you meet, you speak about Krishna. Such a preacher is factually a Brahmana, and thus by feeding him, one feeds the Supreme Lord directly. Similarly, the Kshatriya has to protect people from the onslaughts of Maya. That is his duty. For example, as soon as Maharaj Parikshit saw that a black man was attempting to kill a cow, he immediately took his sword, wanting to kill the black man, whose name was Kali. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, this pastime is there, that Maharaj Parikshit, at the time of Maharaj Parikshit, there was no uh, animal slaughter, there was no, now we say animal slaughters everywhere, but Maharaj Parikshit time, everyone was following the rules and regulations. So he saw that there is one personality, he's trying to kill a cow. So Maharaj Parikshit, he is the king. He was the emperor. So what did he do? It's not that he said, okay, let him kill the cow, let him do whatever. No, he said, it's my duty to protect each and every citizen. Not because that the cow is an animal, I don't need to protect the citizen. No, he said, it's my duty to protect each and every citizen. And he was going to kill this black man. And who was this black man? It was Kali. This is the personality Kali. Prabhupada is putting a note. This is not Kali. It's not the demigoddess Kali, who's the devastating feature of the material nature, but he's the personality Kali. This is Kali Yuga. So the personality of this Kali Yuga, he was trying to kill the cow. That is a Kshatriya's duty. Violence is required in order to give protection. So Maharaj Parikshit would say, oh, no, I have to be non-violent. I have to be non-violent, so I'm not going to kill. No, but that's not his duty to be non-violent. It is his duty to protect. And in his duty to protect, he may have to commit violence too. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna directly gave his order to Arjuna to commit violence on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, just to give protection to the people in general. So Krishna is not telling Arjuna, you become non-violent. No, Krishna is in fact telling Arjuna, you fight. Why? Because it's your duty to fight. If everyone says, oh, you have to become non-violent, then who's going to take care of the protection? There has to be a certain class of people who are going to be the protectors, and those are the Kshatriyas. The Vaishyas are meant for producing agricultural products, trading them and distributing them. And the working class or Shudras are those who haven't the intelligence of the Brahmanas or the Kshatriyas or the Vaishyas, and therefore they are meant to help these higher classes by bodily labor. So the Vaishyas, the main activity is to produce it's farming. It's farming, producing agricultural products, and then whatever is excess, trade them and distribute them. This is the work of the Vaishyas. The working class, they help all the other sections of society. They help the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. In this way, there is full cooperation and spiritual advancement among all the different orders of society. So each is respected. It's not that one is saying, oh, I'm superior than you. No, each is given proper, the due respect. And when there is no such cooperation, the members of society will fall down. That is the present position in the Kali Yuga, this age of quarrel. Kali Yuga is the age of quarrel. Nobody is doing his duty, and everyone is simply puffed up by calling himself a Brahmana, intellectual, or a Kshatriya, soldier, or statesman. But actually, such people are without status. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, do your duty, but do it for my pleasure. But here we are just taking the title. We are taking the title, oh, I'm a Brahmana. Why? Because I'm born in a Brahmana family. But what about the activities of a Brahmana? How about following that? Or Kshatriya, taking the position of a Kshatriya, taking the opulence or the what do you say, the position, the the great power, the power of a Kshatriya. But how about acting like a Kshatriya? So they are out of touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are not Krishna conscious. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is intended to set the whole of human society in proper condition so that everyone will be happy and take profit from developing Krishna consciousness. So, Krishna conscious, to bring Krishna in our day-to-day life, be conscious of Krishna. Study the words of Krishna, study the teachings of Krishna. So that we can be happy. It's not that for someone else, it's for us, each and every one of us. Are there any questions or comments till now?
No, but the main point is that we should always remember Krishna and not forget,
Yes, that's the main point.
right? And we should keep him in the center. For this part, the main point is that no matter in um, which part of society we are born or what are we, but we should always keep Krishna in the center and never forget Krishna, right?
That's right. That's right. And so because someone may say, oh, I'm too busy, I'm doing my duty, I have no time for Krishna. But the reason we do our duties, we need to do our duties very well, is to satisfy Krishna,
Mm. Okay.
to please Krishna. Otherwise, that work will bind us. That work will keep us here in the material world. But if we can do our duty for the pleasure of Krishna, then that same work can liberate us.
Okay.
Because then we are not being attached to the fruit of the result of our work. Lord Sri Krishna instructed Uddhav that by following the injunctions of the social and spiritual orders of human society, one can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as a result of such satisfaction, the whole society gets all the necessities of life amply without difficulty. So the whole society is meant to cooperate with each other. Why? For the satisfaction of Krishna. And when society in general, if we cooperate with each other, we will be peaceful, we will be happy. There will not be any scarcity, we will have ample supply of everything. There won't be that someone's hoarding and someone is starving. So this is because, after all, the Supreme Personality of Godhead maintains all other living entities. If the whole society performs its respective duties and remains in Krishna consciousness, there is no doubt that all of its members will live very peacefully and happily. So bringing Krishna in the center. Right now, the chaos in the society, why is there so much chaos in society? Is because we have removed God from our lives. We simply bring Krishna into our lives, and the whole society will be peaceful and happy. Krishna does not want us to suffer. He wants us to live peacefully. He wants us to live happily. That's the reason he created this divisions. Of course, in age of Kali, there is no proper divisions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. But yet, if each of us can do our duty for the pleasure of Krishna, then everyone will be peaceful and happy. Without wanting the necessities of life, the whole world will be turned into Vaikuntha, a spiritual abode. So, if there's peaceful, there's happiness, there's no anxiety, everyone's needs are met. So then there's Vaikuntha, no anxiety there. Even without being transferred to the kingdom of God, by following the injunctions of Srimad Bhagavatam and prosecuting the duties of Krishna consciousness, all human society will be happy in all respects. So this is the reason Krishna created the Varnashrama's Dharma, Varnashrama society, so that we can be happy, we can be peaceful. There is similar statement by Sri Krishna himself to Uddhav in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 27th chapter, verse 49. The Lord says that, my dear Uddhav, all persons are engaged in activities, whether those indicated in the revealed scriptures or ordinary worldly activities. If by the result of either of such activities they worship me in Krishna consciousness, then automatically they become very happy within this world as well as in the next. So in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's called the Uddhav Gita because Krishna is giving instructions to Uddhav in this 11th canto. So in the 27th chapter, verse 49, Krishna is saying to Uddhav that there are persons who are engaged in activities. So they could be either engaged in activities which are prescribed in the Vedas, and even if not, even if they are not following the Vedas, they're engaged in certain activity. But if by their activity they worship Krishna, they're worshiping Krishna, automatically they'll become happy within this world as well as in the next. So we can see Krishna does not want us to suffer. He wants us to be happy. That's the reason he's leaving behind such instructions. He's giving us the code of how to be happy. He's saying, do your duty. Do your duty for like keeping me in the center. That's the art we need to learn, that we do our duty for the pleasure of Krishna. And then we will be happy. We are thinking, oh, I will be happy only if I keep the result to myself. But it's when we are doing our duty for the pleasure of Krishna, it is then that we can be truly happy. Of this, there is no doubt. Krishna is saying there's no doubt about it. Don't doubt that if you're going to keep me in the center, you're going to be sad or you're going to be suffering. No, you will be happy. We can conclude from this statement by Krishna that activities in Krishna consciousness will give everyone all perfection in all desires. So this is the way to be happy. Bring Krishna in the center of our activities. Do our duties here and worship Krishna. If by the result of either such activities they worship me in Krishna consciousness, either of such activities. So worship Krishna. The result of the activities should be for worshiping Krishna. And automatically they will become very happy in this world as well as in the next. That happiness is not only limited to this body, but we can go back to Vaikuntha in this if we become Krishna conscious. So we'll stop here for today.
It's just one last paragraph and we'll finish the chapter. So if
Is
you
it?
want to, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Okay. Thus, the Krishna consciousness movement is so nice that there is no need of even designating oneself Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grahast, Vanaprastha, or Sannyasi. Let everyone be engaged in whatever occupation he has now. Simply let him worship Lord Krishna by the result of his activities in Krishna consciousness. So it doesn't matter, whether we are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, we are Vanaprastha, or Sannyasi, or Grihast, or Brahmachari. It doesn't matter. Continue in whatever occupation we are in. Simply worship Krishna with the result of our activities. That will adjust the whole situation and everyone will be happy and peaceful within this world. In the Narad Pancharatra, the regulative principles of devotional service are described as follows. Any activities sanctioned in the revealed scriptures and aiming at the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are accepted by saintly teachers as the regulative principles of devotional service. So what are the regulative principles of devotional service? Narad Pancharatra is saying that any activity which is sanctioned, not that somebody makes it up. No, they're sanctioned in the scriptures, revealed scriptures. And these activities are aimed at pleasing Krishna, at satisfying Lord Vishnu. Then they are accepted by the authorities as regulative principles of devotional service. Means any activity which is sanctioned in the scriptures, which is being propagated by saintly teachers, and what is the aim of such an activity? To please Krishna, to satisfy Supreme Lord. If one regularly executes such service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, then gradually he rises to the platform of serving in pure love of God. And then it further goes on to say, Narad Pancharatra is saying that, okay, so if one regularly is engaging in such activities, that what is that? Serve the Supreme Lord, satisfy the Supreme Lord. How? Not by our own mind. No, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Not anyone who proclaims himself to be a spiritual master, but one who is authorized by Krishna, who's coming in the parampara. He's given the authority. He's recognized. Then gradually, we can revive our love for Krishna, which is there in everyone's heart. We can serve on the platform of love, prema bhakti. So how? By doing here, that means by engaging in sadhana bhakti, regularly, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, gradually one can rise to prema bhakti. Is that okay?
Yes. Okay. So major point is to always remember Krishna and not to forget Krishna in any situation.
Yes.
And offer the result
Yes.
to him.
Yeah, offer the result of our activities to Krishna.
So is it that by saying we can do, or that our activities like जैसे वो बोलते कि भाव important है, like what intention is important. So is it that we say and show in our deeds? Is it like that?
Say it and then you have to do it also. So, okay, saying is one thing, it's good enough, it's good, it's a beginning, but then also we'll have to do. Saying it is also better than not saying it. Thinking I'm doing this for Krishna, then actually doing it for Krishna. It's gradual development of consciousness also, right? So someone may be saying, yes, I'm doing it for Krishna, but actually not doing it for Krishna. But at least he or she is saying it's for Krishna.
Okay.
It's better than not even saying it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like a gradual elevation.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much for listening and joining. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.